We're going to see how this goes tonight, but welcome in, everyone. I am Miramushi, your Dream Siren, and thank you for joining us again here in Somnium. I want to take a moment first to address my extreme lateness. Um, I had to take my kitty in earlier this morning, and I have had two puppies in my family pass away to doggy heaven in the last week and a half. So my brain is a little bit scattered and time is getting away with me just a little bit. So I do now remember that we were gonna have a earlier stream today. And I just it escaped me. My mind is grieving and trying to still do the things I want to do here for us. So I hope that you'll forgive me. There's a big difference between 10 p.m. and 10 a.m. or 1000 or 2200, and that was a big, big gap of missed time. So we will do better, but I probably will delay Wednesday's stream just so I can have a little bit more time to process everything going on and allow myself to grieve the things that are happening in my heart and in my mind. And I'm sure for anyone that's lost a pet or anyone in life in general, that it's generally understood. And then the other thing that I wanted to say is that I've worked all day actually on this because I got home after um 10 earlier this morning from the hospital, and then by then my mind was focused on putting together our fun dream presentation for today. So I really wanted to give my all to make this as flushed out as possible. And if I stumble over my words, again, please forgive me. Um, I'm just trying to do my best for you all as your dream siren, and I want to have this as a featured uh, video on the channel because I think it's really important for people to understand like their dreams, not just the dreams that you have in your waking life, that the goals that you have set out for yourself or the aspirations that drive you every day, but also in your sleep state as well. You know, your dreams can reveal so much information that can potentially help you to solve problems in your waking life. And we're going to talk about a couple of themes that can help address those things if you're someone who has an interest in how you can really understand your dreams a lot more. Excuse me just a moment. Okay. So please let me know if the volume is okay. Let me double check. I think we might need to turn it up just a little bit. Okay. I hope that that's not too loud or not too quiet or too loud over the sound of my voice. But we still want to have our very cozy environment for those who come to seek respite with us. Um, Please put this on in the background. Don't worry about interacting if you are someone who's just more comfortable with lurking. But this is interactive, so please feel free to give your input. And when we get to a nice stopping point, we'll discuss the relevant comments to our topic today. So thank you for being here. You are deeply appreciated, and Again, I apologize for my lateness. But let's get into the fun part of our evening. This is Dreamscapes into the Dream World. Themes, lucidity, and respite. By me, Miramushi, your Dream Siren. I have a little script here, so we're gonna dive right into that. Okay, let us begin. Welcome to our Dreamy Zatsu, where today we will be discussing the dream world. Did you know that in Somnium, I guard the dream realm to protect a person's precious dreams and help people defeat their nightmares? All right. As Miramushi, I am a guardian and a guide of the dream realm, known as Somnium. Somnium is a vast and ever-changing landscape, shaped by the hopes, fears, and imaginations of those who dream, such as you. It is a place of boundless beauty, but also one of profound shadows, where nightmares, known as the Shadowborn, seek to unsettle and disrupt the delicate balance of our inner worlds. As a dream siren, my role is multifaceted. I am a protector, standing against the Shadowborn to ensure that dreams remain a refuge and a source of strength. Each Shadowborn I encounter is a human experience or is a manifestation of fears, anxieties, or unspoken truths, fragments of the human experience that can overwhelm us if left unchecked. By confronting these shadows, I not only defend dreams, but also help to illuminate the lessons they told, turning fear into understanding and despair into hope. I am also a guide, leading dreamers through the vast dreamscapes of Somnium. Whether you find yourself lost in a labyrinth of surreal visions or caught in the grip of a reoccurring dream, I am here to help you navigate experiences. Dreams are not random. They are messages, puzzles, and reflections of your waking life. They reveal truths, inspire creativity, and sometimes provide the clarity we seek. Finally, I am a muse, helping you harness the beauty and wisdom of your dreams to enhance your waking life. From exploring the art of lucid dreaming to uncovering the meaning behind recurring symbols, my purpose is to inspire you to embrace the power of your dreams. So, dreamers, as we embark on this journey together, know that you are not alone. With every dream you explore, you are stepping into a world of infinite possibility, and I am here to guide you, protect you, and inspire you along the way. So welcome in. So where do we start? So what of these dreams? So why do dreams fascinate us so much? Dreams have captivated people since ancient civilization, but it was not until the mid-1900s that we were able to study it more deeply through modern science and psychology. Dreams have been seen as omens, connections to the spirit world, a source of insight, and our raw innermost desires. Some science suggests it is the result of the mind adjusting to the lack of visual input, thereby lending to other senses and parts of the brain being enhanced. Defining dreams. Dreams are defined most commonly as stories and images that a person's mind creates while sleeping. It happens most often during the 5th stage of the dream cycle. And yes, everyone dreams, though some do not remember. The dream cycle includes Stage 1, light sleeping. Stage 2, no eye movement and brain waves are slower. Stage 3, extremely slow brainwaves, or what is known as delta waves. Stage 4, known together with stage 3 as deep sleep, and is mostly delta waves. And lastly, stage 5, which is the rapid eye movement, or REM sleep, which is a state in which you dream. Let's look at those a little bit further. So starting with stage 1, as we just covered, which is known as light sleep, there will be just reduced muscular activity through the body. This stage forms only 4 to 5% of your total sleep. So think like taking a nap, right? Stage 2. The eye movement stops and brain waves become slower, with occasional bursts of rapid waves known as sleep spindles. This stage takes up about 45 to 55% of your total sleep. So still, that's a huge chunk comparatively to naps, which we'll talk about later. Okay. Stage 3 is extremely slow brain waves. And as we just discussed again, this is known as your delta wave. So think about all those videos that you see come across YouTube. If you listen to any sort of meditative or relaxing music, delta waves can be played in the background very quietly or softly. And this helps induce your own delta waves in your mind to help sink you into a deeper sleep. And stage 3 accounts for 4 to 6% of your total sleep time. All right, stage 4. The brain produces mostly delta waves, and it's usually difficult to wake up someone when they're in this state. So as we saw, this is known as the deep state of your sleep, right? Your deep sleeping state. There is no eye movement or muscular activity through the body at all. And if you wake someone while they're in a deep sleep, they're usually like more disoriented than normal, right? And it can take them a bit of time to actually wake up. And this accounts for 12 to 15% of your sleep. And lastly, we get to stage 5. Stage 5 is known as REM sleep. Your breathing can be very ragged, irregular, or shallow. The eyes make quick, jerky motions underneath the lids in various directions, which we will talk about this again when we get to lucid dreaming. And limb muscles can be temporarily feel paralyzed, or they are paralyzed in the body. And we'll also talk about that again when we talk about sleep paralysis. So obviously, you can probably guess heart rate's going to go up, the blood pressure is going to rise, and with males specifically, they can sometimes develop a penile erection. There we go. And when people wake up from this state, they often they often will describe, like wild tales, and this is the merging of the waking life and the dream state. And this accounts for about 20 to 25% of your sleep. So this is at the very end of your sleep cycle. So again, we can see that, everyone does dream. Everyone's a little dreamer. But sometimes you just can't remember, and that's okay too. Your subconscious mind will annotate those things that you need to know. So with neuroscience, we've been able to link REM sleep to the cause of actual dreams, which is really fun because science is cool. Now, what are the best conditions to induce sleep and dreaming? Let's take a look. The right atmosphere. You gotta get in the mood. So, you want to set aside at least 7 hours for your sleep schedule, and it needs to be consistent. So, you want to try to rest at the same time every evening, and you want to try to get up at the same time the next day. And this includes even through the weekend. Um, so 7 hours minimum, and same time getting up, and same time going to sleep. Okay. Then we want to look at the conditions of the room. So you want to make sure that the temperature in your room is really nice and cozy, but it needs to be cool. If you're too hot when you sleep, you're going to want to stick a leg out of the bed or stick a hand or arm out of the bed instead of being all cozy underneath that blanket, right? So make sure that your room is cool. It's going to encourage your body to want to go to sleep. Um, your room is cold. See, you're already on the way there. um, the next thing that you want to look at as well is how much noise is around you. And I've commonly heard from people who live in big cities that some of my dreamers, they love to be able to hear the rustling world around them while they're sleeping. And I think a part of that may be that living in a city can be really lonely sometimes. It can be a lot of hustle and bustle. And so there's, the mind and the body adjusting to all of the happenings in its environment. But you still need to have some quiet time, because when we sleep, not only does our body heal itself of any injuries, or I hear sound. Oh, does it bother you? But not only does it, how do you say, um, it heal itself when you sleep. If you don't have time for your body to rest, it can actually increase anxiety and cause more sleep disturbances for you. So, you know, having peace in your mind is not just good, or peace around you is good for your mind, but it's also good for your body too. So your body can do what it needs to do to keep you healthy and strong, to do all the things that you want to do and obtain your dreams. Um, like a few times and then it stops. The sounds don't annoy me. Well, that's good. You are adjusted. And that is, like I said, something to know, that the body and the mind will always adjust to maintain homeostasis, which we'll talk about that later as well. Some calming activities that you can do to help induce sleep are things like meditating. Some things that I do are playing like the thumb drum, which helps to really ground me and make me feel, very calm. And I can just focus on the vibration of the drum and the sound as it, reverberates through my room. And it becomes like a very, you know, like it's a ritual for me. Journaling is also a good idea, but not just for writing about your hopes and inspirations, but for getting your dreams out, right? Or getting your problems out of your mind that maybe sometimes you need to put it down, right? It can be very overwhelming when we're working towards something. So, you know, having the mental clarity to know when you need to walk away from something is really important. And being able to do that so that you can get adequate sleep is vital. So, reading a book, also wonderful activity. Just make sure that it's not something that's really disturbing or very heavy, or it's going to have you thinking too much afterwards. I don't want to say you want to read something boring, but at the same time, you don't want to read something that's going to have you, flipping through chapters for the rest of your evening. It needs to be something that's going to want to slow you down a bit. So, kind of like the things that we read here. Um, outside of there being maybe some very good like life lessons in some of the stories that we've been reading recently, they're just they're easy to read. It's not something that's going to make you think too much after it's over. And it helps to calm you. Sorry. I cannot get to my mute button. Okay, so we've covered. Oh, and one last thing as well too. It is okay to try if you have a lot of things on your mind to also if you don't feel comfortable with journaling, you know, have like a nice conversation with a friend or a family member. Um, but give yourself a space of time and limit your discussion so that you don't allow yourself to, talk about the issue all night long. If you know that it's getting, an hour or two before bed and your heart or your mind are very heavy about something, see if there's someone who can speak with you for, say, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but I wouldn't say anything longer than that because I think that will open the door to have too long of a conversation when the goal is to have that consistent sleep, right? While managing, life stressors. Um, so yeah. Now, if you don't, well, I'll come back to this point. With regards to light control in the room, if you live somewhere or you're close to, say, like a street light or, a source of light outside of your home, try to get some dark light curtains, or a face mask, a sleep mask. Those are really nice things that can help with light control in your room. So that way you're not, you know, being disturbed from your sleep because there's a light source that's beaming down on your face. So that's something that you can utilize to help have a better sleep environment. And the one thing that we all just need so much help with sometimes is that screen time. At least an hour before bed. If you absolutely cannot, just an hour before bed, put your phone out of your room. That's a really great habit to have. So that way you don't reach for your phone in the middle of the night or put it across the room from you so that you actually have to get out of bed if you need to get it. It'll discourage you from using it through the night if you just wake up. But if you do wake up after you've gone to, or I'm sorry, if you do wake up, that's okay. Just try to go right back to sleep. But reducing screen time and bright lights from any source is just really a great way to sort of help your natural melatonin levels do what they need to do to help induce sleep in your body. And earplugs as well. Earplugs are a good way to help to reduce sound if you're comfortable sleeping with them in. I know that there are some non-electric earbuds that people can buy, and that helps with reducing noise as well. And for those who still may need something in the background, having just the fan on low or having the TV on, even though you shouldn't have it on something that you're actually going to watch, but there are, YouTube videos that will have like a black screen. So that way you don't have to, have a light source, but still can hear the sound. That's another great way to have something that's, nice in the background. That's not going to make you want to, pay attention to it, but it'll help to lull you to sleep, which is nice. And of course, things that you can do before you get ready to go to bed, such as meditation. If you are a musician, like I was saying with the tongue drums, or playing something really softly to yourself, all those things can, can be really relaxing. A nice warm bath, and even giving yourself like a gentle massage, just going down your arms and your legs, massaging the neck, and just helping your body, get in its best state to, you know, get 7 hours of sleep if you can. Now, if you're not able to get to sleep immediately, that's okay when you lay down. Um, what is suggested is to get out of bed. Like if you've been in bed for 20 minutes and you can't sleep, go ahead and get out of bed and go back to one of those relaxing activities until you feel sleepy again. And then go back to bed. And if you find yourself not able to sleep, rinse, repeat, get up, do something relaxing, pick up that book again, you know, uh, try to meditate again, or doing some deep breathing exercises. Um, and then as soon as you start feeling sleepy, go right go right back to bed. So I know that there are people who sometimes feel like they're, I'm locked into the bed, so I don't want to go to bed until I'm absolutely sleepy, and that's good. But if you're someone that finds yourself to struggle with sleep, um, just give yourself that 20 minutes, do something, go back to bed, and just keep doing it. And another big one, because I love naps. Don't nap too much. Don't nap too much. It can throw off your sleep pattern. So limit yourself to an hour nap. I think that a nap should be anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour. I feel like sometimes if you sleep longer than that, then it may make you feel a bit groggy during the day. So don't sleep too much during your naps. And if you're someone who has to work during the evening, or you're just on a night cycle comparatively to everyone else, you still want to get your proper sleep in accordance with when your bedtime is, whether that be when the sun is up or when the moon is up. And of course, physical activities do help to wear us down a little bit and make us tired. So, nothing too extraneous. Um, a light walk in the evening just to get your heart rate up a little bit, and then go to bed. Or, if you like sports, play a short round of something. For us gamers out there, there's different things. If you have access to a VR headset that encourages working out, um, and various gaming systems have like some sports activity things. So just move your body a little bit. And if, you're someone who does their stretching and yoga or things at home, that's just as well too. Yeah. And try not to do it too close to bed. All right. Now, let's move on to diet and habits that enable sleep. So, the big thing I'm sure most people know is you want to avoid those heavy meals before bed. Um, I think I have read that you shouldn't have anything too heavy after 7 or 8 o'clock at night, because of how long it may take for your body to digest whatever food you've eaten, and your body actually um, does require a bit of energy to digest your food. So be conscious of that when you're eating your meals. Also, certain foods such as dairies and spicy foods um, can also can also be something that should be avoided before sleep. But we'll talk about that later because that's more connected to nightmares. Doo-doo-doo. Also, reducing stimulants is equally important too. So, if you're a smoker, no tobacco or nicotine. If you like to drink, try to avoid drinks as well. Even though alcohol can make us sleepy, it can disrupt your sleep cycle in general on its own. And I would even include phones in there as well, because it can be seen as an addictive substance. And it's also important to not go to bed hungry. Sorry. Because your tummy growling and fussing that you need to feed it can also wake you. So make sure that you're not hungry. Try not to overeat. Avoid certain foods. And all of those are very, very just good general things to look out for when it comes to sleeping. Even for those who like that additional little snack before bed, make sure it's something light on your belly, something you're not going to have to digest like a steak or, you know, whatever you would eat during, say, like a dinner course. What's it mean when ears start ringing? Oh, we'll have to talk about that during another discussion, or if we have time at the end of today, because that's a little bit off topic, but I do know about that from a medical standpoint and from a spiritual standpoint as well. But don't let me forget, because I do know about that. Let's see. And managing stress levels, which can be hard, right? Especially if you're going through a lot of things. But as we talked about with journaling to get those thoughts off your mind, or speaking with someone for a short while before bed, these are things that you can do to sort of like offload some of that stress before you go to bed. So try to not have a lot on your mind before you go to sleep, because those things also can translate into your dreams, as our dreams are a way for the brain to process the things that have happened to us in our day-to-day occurrences. So if you're trying to be intentional and purposeful about dreaming, you do want to manage your stress really well, so that way what you're trying to focus on is not disrupted by other aspects of your life. And sometimes it's just really not avoidable. It does it to me loud too. That's okay. If it's bothering you too much, I would say to go to the doctor though. Because from some things that I have read, some people say that ear ringing can actually be really painful. And let's see if my tea's ready to drink now. Yes. All right. Let's go on to dream journaling, I believe. Oh, and also staying organized. Staying organized is really important as well for stress management. So it's just like in general, I think that's just a practical tip that anyone can use. So staying organized, being mindful, and managing your stress altogether, all three of those things are really important. Now let's talk about dream journaling, which we're going to expand on later when we talk about lucid dreaming. So keeping a dream journal is really important when it comes to having good conditions for dreaming and sleep, because whether you have a nightmare and the Shadowborn knock at your door, or whether you have a pleasant dream where something really important pops up, having a dream journal close to your bed enables you to be able to record that information as soon as you wake up, because sometimes our dreams can start to slip away from us very, very quickly as soon as we wake up. So you want to jot down as much information as possible before it goes poof. Dream journals are a record of what the dreamer remembers from their dream after waking. As this collection of dreams grows over time, the journal can decipher deeper meanings to things in the waking life, especially with recurring dreams or abnormal occurrences in a singular dream. It tinkles too. Oh, you might need to. Maybe it would go. It shouldn't be painful. So, how do you keep a dream journal? You ask, I answer. So, let's go over the general basis before we dive in more deeply. So, keeping your dream journal, as I just said, close to your bed will make it easier to reach for your dream journal shortly after waking while the memories are fresh on your mind. You want to add as much detail as possible, even if you think it's something that's insignificant, including how you feel or felt during the dream. So, how you feel when you wake up and how you felt during the dream. If writing is not your forte, consider drawing. For all my artists out there, this may also help make it easier to recall your dream by having a direct visual aid. And if you can do both, that's even better. And then from your dream journal, you're going to break the code. You're going to begin to decipher the symbolism that is found in your dreams and also in similar dreams in your waking life. So you want to look for those patterns. So putting your dream journal and a pen by your bed, even if it's under your pillow, wherever it's going to be very easy for you to grab and not necessarily have to go too far from where you sleep. And this may seem like something that's going to be easy to forget when you just begin, but as with every habit, as you continue to do this over time, it's going to become second nature to just wake up if you have a dream and reach for that journal. And I think even for people who have a harder time remembering their dreams, by doing this, it's going to train your brain to have better recall of what you dreamed about. So it's going to help enhance your dreams even more by doing that. Now, again, when it comes to the detail, you want to try to write down any and everything. If there was sounds, where you were, who was with you, what time of a day it was, were there any significant objects, what were the colors like? Were they vivid? Were they dull? Um, and then even sometimes, how do you feel when you wake up? If it was cold in your dream, did you feel cold when you woke up? If it was really hot in your dream, did you feel hot when you awoke? Did you have pain anywhere significant to something that happened in your dream? Or even does your heart feel like lifted, right? Or does your mind feel clear? All of those things are great details to annotate as well. And you also, obviously, you want to annotate your emotional state or lack thereof, even, because those are all clues that can key you into what your dream or your subconscious mind is trying to tell you. Um, and also for those who journal and have a dream journal, it's really nice to be able to have both tools to compare against one another to see if, something is more prevalent in the waking state or the dreaming state. If there are things, again, if there's patterns that match across the board, all of those can be context clues to helping you unfold your dreams and what they mean for you or how they can help you. So sometimes if you journal journal during the beginning of your day, or closer towards I would say, like, I'm home from the day and want to write my stuff down. That's a good thing. Or you can just write how you feel when you wake up, and that's also still a context clue too, outside of your dream journaling. And there also can be things in your waking life, obviously, that are influencing your dreams. So, you can look and say you journal like one evening that you had a fight with, a coworker, for example. And then you have a dream about about, fighting someone, you know, maybe it's connected. And maybe you win the fight. And maybe you feel better about that argument with your coworker because you just validated yourself through your dreams. And see, that's a really good way to also support yourself. Okay, we covered most of this. I, I'm going to talk to the points before I read the points that I wrote down, which are saying the exact same thing. Oh, also, noting, particular animals, plants, and objects. Um, and I'm trying, I'm trying to not say the part of this that's connected to the nightmares because it's still important, right? So like think about like a home, right? What condition is the home in? What is the landscape like? All of those allow you to kind of step back as soon as you wake up and be like, okay, well, what does this correlate to myself? And we'll talk a little bit in just a few slides about what houses mean in dreams. And then obviously for reoccurring dreams, if you're having the same dream over and over again, what is that saying about something that you might have left unresolved in your life that's trying to, you know, wave a little flag and say, hey, I need this attention. This needs to be addressed. And your mind is trying to tell you that when you sleep. Next, this is an example of what a dream journal looks like. So if you want to come back to this, if you want to take a screenshot so that you can add this in your own journal that you want to start, you just want to have the date at the top, very important. The day of the week, equally important. The time that you went to bed and the time that you woke up. And it says, describe your dreams or your dream that you had in the space below. Use a separate sheet of paper to write down the dreams that you had each night. Include as much detail as possible. And if you need more space, then write on the back of the paper or turn the page in your journal. And you'll just keep going back and looking at the list of your dreams and what things match up. You can even have a little fun with it and use markers or highlighters, especially if you're someone that's artistic. You can really make your dream journal something that's really fascinating for you to go back and look at. And it doesn't have to be something that seems a bit of a bore. Because I think that's the general feeling that some people can have when it comes to journaling, that they think that it's something that's boring. But really, you don't even need 5 minutes of your day. You can journal in 5 minutes, and especially if that's just regular journaling. 5 minutes to just speak to a dream prompt. What do I expect of myself today? What am I trying to grow within myself? What's deeply bothering me that I'm afraid to express? Those are like dream prompts. But when it comes to your dream journal, you may only remember, a few quick snippets of your dream, and writing down even those few little details. I was in my old town that I grew up in when I was little. It was raining outside and I was outside without an umbrella. And when I woke up, I was cold and shivering. That doesn't even take 5 minutes to write down. If you have a phone, it's even easier because you can voice record your dreams, which also can be very easy in comparison to writing or drawing. You can just take voice notes of your dreams and go back and listen to them. And I think sometimes this is actually a good practice because while you're listening to yourself, you can hear how you sound about the dream. You can hear if there's anxiety in your voice. You can hear if there's joy in your voice. And all of those, again, are context clues to discovering what your dreams are trying to tell you. And then you can journal about what you recorded because you'll be in a more clear state of mind. And maybe your memory recall even will be a bit better because you have, you're listening back to yourself. So, and being in a clear intentional state of mind, you can allow yourself to better understand, you know, what your groggy self maybe wasn't able to really comprehend first thing after waking up. All right. What is lucid dreaming and how does it help? Sorry. All right. What is lucid dreaming? Lucid dreaming is defined as a dream phenomenon in which the dreamer can become aware of the fact that they are dreaming while in the dream state. This dream awareness allows the person to direct their attention and have active and intentional participation in the dream state. Quite simply, lucid dreaming is people who can put themselves back into a dream that they've previously had and be in control of the narrative that's going on. So, how does this help? Lucid dreaming may assist in many aspects of the dreamer's waking life. It can help increase creativity by allowing more control and working beyond boundaries that may be present in the waking life. It may also help to relieve anxiety and reduce nightmares by helping to confront traumatic memories and being in control of the narrative and outcome during the dream state. Additionally, it can help improve motor skills because actions executed in the dream state may help improve those same skills during the waking life. So, say that you're a dancer and you just can't nail that move, right? And you've been practicing and practicing. If you're intentionally dreaming and lucid dreaming and you're able to execute that dance move perfectly, it can help with memory recall in the body to know when you go and practice in your waking life, oh, that's the move. So that's a fun way to look at it. But of course, that applies across the board for anything that you're dreaming or anything that you're trying to work on. So let's read the blurbs that are wrapped. Aristotle was found to have written about lucid dreaming in the 4th century BCE in the treatise on dreams of his Parva Neutrali, where he states, often when one is asleep, there is something in consciousness which declares that what then presents itself is but a dream. So you didn't have lucid dreaming. Oh, we might have to, well, then yeah, we'll have to explore that more because that's what I thought too. Also, we find in Eastern cultures, particularly in regions of South Asia, reports of individuals taking part in practices to enhance awareness of dream and sleep states going back millennia. These practices centered around meditative practices that helped apprehend the dream state. And you'll also find this across other indigenous cultures here on this side of the world too. During the 70s and 80s, Western criticism changed due to the first validation of lucid dreaming as an objectively verifiable phenomenon occurring during REM sleep. So, key thing to note, lucid dreaming happens during REM sleep, but there are also other things that can happen during REM sleep, such as regular dreaming, nightmares, sleep paralysis. So keep that in mind. But REM sleep happens during that last stage of sleep. Dreamers were asked to shift their eyes in a distinct pre-agreed upon sequence to signal when they entered the lucid dreaming state. This has become the golden standard. So that's why if you look at things like EMDR, it's like a rapid eye type therapy. The same thing with lucid dreaming. The certain practices will have you look all the way from one ear to the other, back, and to the other. And so there's different methodologies that are used with the eyes specifically that only uh, are seen or used during lucid dreaming states. So that's very important to note. It's different. Can people see you in a lucid dream, like real people, not the dream people? I didn't read over anything specifically, and nothing that I've studied previously regarding dreams um, have I found that people could know instinctively when you go into a dream, like say the previous night, and to know that, you know, you've intentionally visited them. What I have heard is people who will wake up and be like, oh man, you were really heavy on my mind this morning. And the other person will be like, oh my God, I dreamed about you. So it's still that connection, right? That's still present. It's still valid and it's still very real. If it is specifically within the lucid dreaming state, that I'll have to look a little bit more into. But from the description of it in our discussion before, it did very much sound like that. So maybe it's a new phenomenon. Also, oh, there's a aspect of um, it's I don't want to call it sleep paralysis because we did have this conversation before about how I've like sat up out of my body and looked at my and looked at myself while I was sleeping and being able to get up and walk around my environment, right? That sounds a little bit more like sleep paralysis. So maybe there is something that's linked between lucid dreaming and sleep paralysis that we just haven't really clued ourselves into yet. And if you look more at um, Aboriginal or indigenous cultures or various ancient African cultures or ancient African spiritualities, where, you know, it is believed that we can talk to our guides and ancestors, you know, through these practices, you know, where things are, again, used to help induce this certain state of sleep, then maybe there's something that we might be missing at all. And I do believe it all could be connected, just, you know, as we'll read about in a little bit. Um, yeah, it's different than mine. Oh, okay. Well, then we might just need to do a little bit more exploration into that. That's very interesting. All right. How does one induce lucid dreaming? We have three methodologies that we're going to discuss here today. So, firstly, wake back to bed, or WBTB. And how you go about achieving lucid sleep through this method is you want to set an alarm to wake you 5 hours after going to sleep. So think about when we were talking about the different stages of sleep, right? And how much each of those stages take up during your sleep cycle and how much time, 7 hours, is recommended that the average adult get for sleep. So keep all of that in mind. These are all context clues. Set an alarm to wake you 5 hours after going to sleep, or if you know, have a roommate or live with someone or have a partner, have them to wake you up. This allows the dreamer to wake during the middle of the sleep cycle, enabling them to re-enter REM sleep. Oh, sorry, just there. You search up this what it says. No, real people cannot directly see you in a lucid dream. Oh, so then it had to be something else. We will explore that. That's interesting. So it's not lucid dreaming then. Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know that. Yours was a gift. I believe that too. I believe that too. Especially since they verified it as well. I think about, you know, things within within my culture where if you some people say if you dream about fish, that means that someone's going to, become pregnant, or other beliefs like that, which we'll explore across various cultures. It's very common that people have similar type of dreams like that. I know. And so, I wouldn't feel discouraged just because there's no title, right? There's nothing specific that you can label it as. I would say a gift. And I think that's equally beautiful. All right. So, this allows the dreamer to wake during the middle of the sleep cycle, enabling them to re enter REM sleep, but also allows for awareness, which is so key in lucid dreaming specifically, and being more conscious that you are dreaming again. So we want intention and awareness that we're awake and we're going back to sleep, so that we can remember that we're awake and aware, or not awake, so we can make sure that we can know that we're aware that we're dreaming when we go back to sleep. Reality checks. This is a fun one. Reality checks are a method used to help increase the dreamer's awareness by training the mind to boost consciousness during the sleep cycle. This should be done through your waking life with techniques like pushing your fingers against your palm, pinching the nose, or looking away from a book. If anything is off that would normally happen during the waking life, you can signal to yourself that you are dreaming. And this goes into one of the studies that I was looking at with lucid dreams specifically. Like, remember how we were talking about the eye movement, right? The predefined eye movement, or pre-agreed upon eye movement. Let those who were observing the lucid dreamer know that during the study, what was told to them was, as soon as you realize that you're in a lucid dreaming state, or plainly, as soon as you realize while you're sleeping that you're dreaming, move your eyeballs like this. Move your eyeballs left to right. So that's signaling, like, hey, right? Pushing into your hand in a dream and your fingers going through your hand, or, like holding your nose and being able to breathe, when in real life you wouldn't be able to, or looking at a book and looking away from it, and when you look back, the text is blurred out. All of those are clues that you're dreaming. So it's really cool, because then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm in control. And so you want to incorporate these practices if you would like to lucid dream. And the last one is known as mild, which is mnemonic induction of lucid dreams. With mild, the dreamer tells themselves that they will be going, or that they will they will be oh, I mistyped, that they will be doing a lucid, or they will be going into a lucid dreaming state when they go to bed. This will then relay the message to the mind, allowing the dreamer to prompt a concept known as prospective memory, or the ability to remember future events. So it's just almost like self-talk when you're trying to change a habit, right? I'm going to finish this mile if you're a runner. I'm going to finish this art illustration if you're an artist. I'm going to 100 this game if you're a gamer, right? You're coaching yourself, you're encouraging yourself, and then having your own self-fulfilling prophecy when you achieve that thing that you say that you're going to do. This applies with our dream states too. So you can tell yourself, I'm going to lucid dream tonight. And keep telling yourself that during your waking life, to clue your mind in that this is going to happen tonight. And over time, that will happen. Now, the not so fun part. Cautions and challenges. Sleep paralysis, also known as SP, is another state of consciousness that may happen during REM sleep. It is characterized by the dreamer's lack of ability to move while being fully awake and aware. And this can be very, very terrifying from the people who I have known who've experienced this, and through different studies that I've reviewed as well too. So during sleep paralysis, along with the body not being able to move and having the awareness of being awake, again, we find the ability for eye movement, similar to that found in lucid dreaming. So remember, I was saying that there's that connection with the eye movement and being in REM sleep. The difference being that in sleep paralysis, you didn't have a pre-described notion that you were going to move your eyes from left to right, but the eye motion that we find in REM sleep for dreaming, it's still there, right? So the eye movement is really key to knowing when someone is in their dreaming state. And also try to not wake someone up if you walk over to them and you see their little eyes darting underneath their eyelids. Let them dream, please. And especially if they're having a nightmare and you do feel like you need to wake them, please do so very gently, because it can be really disruptive and cause even more traumatic feelings upon that person waking. Or they could be at a point in their nightmare where they're getting ready to defeat something and turn that over in the mind, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. So sleep paralysis happens in different sleep stages, mainly during the waking or when falling asleep. Most dreamers are able to recall the experience in full detail. So I'm sorry, I got that backwards. Sleep paralysis happens during the first stages of sleep and the end of stage 5. So not only just in REM sleep. Common reported emotions include fear and also terrifying imagery and hallucinations. Some also reported sounds, pressure, or a sense of another being's presence. And it also even has an aura. So whatever that presence is in sleep paralysis, or the feeling or the vibe of what is that heavy thing, it has an aura. So that's really, really interesting, because there's something, that is giving like a visual of this energy that really shouldn't be there in your sleep. So yeah. And then oh, we covered it all. Oh no, we didn't. Also, it is important to note that one must manage their expectations while trying to induce lucid sleep, and to not be discouraged, as the mind will adapt with proper sleep, training, use of a dream journal, and most importantly, patience. Remember, our anxieties can manifest as nightmares. So you don't want to, push yourself too hard or get too frustrated if you don't lucid dream immediately when you start. There are different supplements that can be taken, which, let me go back. As you can see here, galantamine, AGPC, and choline are all supplements that can help induce lucid dreams. The galantamine is one of the more common and successful supplements used with inducing lucid dreaming. So of any of those, you use that one first if you're trying to lucid dream. I also forgot about our teas and melatonin and magnesium. So herbal teas such as chamomile tea are really great to drink to help relax you in the evening. Melatonin, which your body already naturally produces, but sometimes we can be lacking in it, also is a supplement that can be used to help to develop a healthy sleep cycle, but you don't want to take it too long. It's only meant to be taken for a couple of weeks until you get your sleep cycle together. If you use it too much, your body's just not going to respond to it. And then magnesium as well, just is a nice natural relaxant, relaxer for the body. Now we're done. All right. Now, common dream themes. Let's get into this. So we're going to discuss recurring dream themes, nightmares, and their role and symbolism in our dreams, right? So Joseph Campbell, a U.S. literary professor and writer, once famously said that myths are public dreams. Dreams are private myths. This statement allows us to tap into the themes of common dream themes. Shared symbols and themes across various nations of people clue us in that maybe dreams are more profound than just their individual occurrences. These shared symbols, so common across all cultures, was proposed by Carl Jung to be a collective unconsciousness shared by all humans. By addressing these symbols as a visual language, it opens the door of the dream world and what it may communicate to us all. So, we'll go over recurring dream themes such as flying, falling, or being chased, and possible psychological or emotional triggers um, that may cause recurring dreams. Nightmares and their role, because they do have a role. The purpose of them is to help us to process our fears and anxieties. And then we'll talk about some tips to reducing nightmare frequencies, which there's a very small percentage of people who actually really have nightmares comparatively to those who dream. So we've already talked about bedtime habits, and in a little bit we'll talk about what dream rescripting is. Next we'll talk, and then after that, we'll talk about symbolism in dreams. So what are these various symbols that are across all cultures, and what do they mean for everybody, or what do they mean differently as well too? And ultimately, it's up to you, the dreamer, to be the final say of what your dreams mean for you. And though we can begin to, or when we first start understanding our dreams, we can lean on, these common themes or common symbolisms that a lot of people relate to. But I think in time, as you come to know yourself, it's better to have a deeper understanding of what something means to you, because you're going to have a history with that thing. A lion doesn't mean a lion to everybody, or a lion doesn't have the same meaning to everybody across different cultures in the world. That just as an example. Next, the meaning. Reoccurring dream themes. So let's start with being chased. Dun, dun, dun. So dreamers may be avoiding something important. Think, what are you running from? This could mean there is something that you need to face. So let's look at this a little more deeply. When you're being chased in a dream, does it mean to you that something is trying to catch up with you that maybe you've been avoiding in your waking life? These type of dreams can help you to identify the emotional state that you have regarding the thing that you're running from, and help you to adjust your emotional state against something that maybe you're quite frankly terrified of in your dream state, but maybe not so much in your waking. It can also help signify avoidance as well. And also, being chased is a very common occurrence in early, with regards to early childhood trauma too. Next, falling. A dreamer may feel insecure or that they cannot get a grip on a situation, and they are losing control, or the opposite, in which they need to let go of a situation or person. So let's look at that more deeply. This could symbolize the dreamer feeling a loss of control over things in their waking life, and feeling unsupported or needing to adjust expectations surrounding certain events in the waking life. Consider common puns used like "I'm falling in love" or "somebody's falling from grace." Falling dreams can represent our inflated views of things as well too. They can think about like you need to come down to earth, right? You need to bring yourself down from something. They can also be seen as a warning to slow down before running right off of a cliff. The speed in which the dreamer falls also can be of note. Are you falling quickly or slowly? This may symbolize a release of feelings or feeling stuck in a state of anxiety. Next, flying. Dreamers may have a deep longing for freedom, or this may signify being able to rise above difficult situations. It could also note needing to adjust your perspective. So, flying, often associated with freedom or rising above turbulent circumstances, um, can we think about Icarus, right? What happened? He flew too close to the sun, right? So again, we see another symbol for come back down to earth. You need to ground yourself. You're you need to readjust your view about something. Um, or it could also symbolize you being held back by something as well too, or maybe you need a change in direction in life. Now I'm going to continue to read some other ones that I found, but we'll just pause here on the slides for those. So the next theme or common dream symbology is death. So whether dreaming of yourself dying or the living dead, dreams about death can symbolize many things. These dreams can point to areas of the dreamer's internal self that they are dying, such as old or unhealthy habits that are no longer aligning with who you are or see yourself to be. Or it can symbolize external parts of the dreamer's life that are no longer serving a purpose or doesn't just align with where you want to go, say a job or something like that, right? And it can also be a clue that the dreamer or it can also clue the dreamer into things or people that they are afraid to lose as well too, but also the coming of new beginnings. So when one door closes, another will open. Next, being naked. These dreams symbolize usually feelings of shame or embarrassment. They can help clue the dreamer into parts of themselves that are deeply vulnerable as well. Or maybe that there's a fear about other people seeing something about you that you're not ready for them to know, or something that you don't know how to address. Next, water. Water in dreams has varying meanings from being cleansed or cleared of something, washing away the old, bringing in the new. Our current emotional state, water is deeply and very commonly known to be associated with water. Think about how the moon pulls on your emotions, right? Um, it can symbolize you feeling like you're being carried away by something. So again, you feel out of control. And the dreamer should assess how they feel about the state of state of affairs in their life, and note the state of the water as well in their dream. So was the water calm or was it turbulent? Still waters are not always a positive thing necessarily, because it can represent stagnation, it can represent being stuck, it can represent things not flowing to you that you want coming to you currently. It can also symbolize our pent up emotions, or maybe the need for just a good cry. And also, maybe the dreamer feels like they could be drowning in their waking life in something. Maybe you're just too bogged down from work, or you've got so many things going on and you need to delegate tasks out to other people or ask for help. Houses, which we talked about shortly before. So, houses in dreams most commonly reflect the body or the dreamer themselves. So remember earlier I was saying, think about the conditions of the house, think about the landscape around the house. Do things appear to be unkept or neglected? Is everything brand new? How does the yard look? Are there flowers, or is it desolate and dry? Are there rooms in the dream that you feel more drawn to? Especially if it's a familiar house in your dream. Or what if there's a room that's not supposed to be there? Could that mean that there is something new awakening within you? That also goes for if anything in a familiar home in your dream. Does anything feel out of place? Is there a door missing somewhere? That can symbolize that you've locked something away, or your subconscious mind more so has locked something away that it's not ready for you to confront, which we'll talk more about how the subconscious mind plays a role in nightmares in a bit. So, paying attention to the state of the house in your dream can clue you into the unconscious needs that you may be having or new things that are awakening within. And this is why it's important to keep the dream journal, right? So, like, say that say at the beginning of the year you started having reoccurring dreams about the old house that you grew up in, if you no longer live there. And when you first start dreaming about it, the house is decrepit, it's run down, the yard is in shambles, there's trash everywhere, and you just don't even want to go in it. And in your waking life, you've just moved, life is disruptive for you, you've got things all over your new space, you don't feel comfortable because you're not adjusted, and you just can't allow yourself to be comfortable. Fast forward 6 months, you're dream journaling, this house comes up, at least a couple times a week or once a week, and you keep journaling about the conditions of the home. 6 months down the road, you've gotten settled at your job, you've made some new friends, right? Or you're going to uni and you've got your routine down, you don't hate your roommate anymore, and you're dreaming, and the house is slowly, every time you dream, the trash is slowly disappearing. The walls are being patched up. The inside looks cleaner and cleaner every time you continue to have this recurring dream about this home. And eventually, by the end of the year, the house is completely repaired. The yard looks amazing. The plants are thriving, and there's a new room upstairs. And in your waking life, you've been highly successful. You've been nominated for some STEAM award at your uni, or you've been promoted to a new position and you got a nice bonus. All of these things relate to your internal state, and your dream is showing you the progress that you're making. So it's a really great way to be able to not just reflect but also validate yourself and validate the progress that you're making, um, the challenges that you're confronting, and you're rising above them, and you feel better internally, and you want to go in the house now. You want to live there, you want to stay there, and you have your little um, you know, perfect view out into the world, and you're safe. The home feels safe now. And that is because in your waking life, you now feel secure in your new place that you've been at for a year. Now, teeth. Teeth in dreams can symbolize issues surrounding age, such as vitality or growing old. They can also point to our social comfortability. Does the dreamer smile fully, or are they smiling like this? And your teeth are hidden, right? When we smile with our whole mouth and teeth, we show people that we're open or that we're confident. And usually people who hide their teeth when they smile, there's some level of self-confidence or a lack of self-confidence. Either they don't like their smile, or, they just don't feel socially friendly, or they feel awkward to people in spaces where they're unfamiliar, or maybe there's, someone that's just, very sad. And so they just don't smile upon meeting others. So, they can also point to our social. Oh, sorry, I read that part already. When it comes to losing teeth, this could point to difficulty speaking up for yourself, or feelings surrounding lack of self confidence. Like water, these dreams can also symbolize trouble communicating, because water also represents communication, or incoming. Oh, I don't think I read that part. I have to go back up for water. Or incoming, sorry, symbol is trouble communicating or incoming relief from an ongoing troubling situation in the dreamer's waking life. Maybe like with baby teeth, the dream could point to incoming new growth in a new area of the person's life. Where did I miss about the water? Oh, I did say it's our current emotional state. And it can represent, I did say being cleansed. um, all right, on to our next slide. Nightmares. Dun, dun, dun. So, what are nightmares? These spooky, boopy things. In the Universal Etymological English Dictionary, a nightmare is defined as a disease when a man in his sleep supposes he has a great weight laying upon him. Kind of sounds like sleep paralysis, doesn't it? 1721. In the modern world, dreams are vastly associated with our deepest fears, anxieties, or emotions. Or nightmares, I'm sorry. More commonly to be had by children, nightmares may indeed reflect the dreamer's vulnerabilities. Dreams are understood to be quote, dreams are understood to be recent autobiographical episodes that become woven with past memories to create a new memory that can be referenced later, end quote. Opposingly, we find that nightmares reflect deeply dreams that showcase powerful and disturbing emotional states of the dreamer. Like dreams, there are many factors that can influence nightmares, such as stress, medication, bad sleeping habits, or mental health disorders, such as PTSD, which has been the most common disorder studied alongside the cause of nightmares. In fact, having nightmares is one of the criteria to be diagnosed with PTSD. Studies show that in most nightmares of people with PTSD, the trauma itself can become a recurring nightmare. Studies also show that the part of the brain that regulates fear behaviors is hypersensitive comparatively to those who do not suffer from any trauma. It should also be noted that dreams can be triggered by a plethora of elements in life, whether that whether that be getting a new job, taking a new medication, I said before, or watching something scary before bed, or even certain foods, such as dairy, strangely. So no ice cream too close to bed. And I know some people like to have warm milk before bed as well too, but this is not something that necessarily affects others, or not others, but everyone. Or spicy foods, spicy foods as well as one to stay away from too close to bed because it can induce nightmares. And it's also very commonly associated with certain mental health disorders, like we just discussed, as those who have PTSD, or even sometimes we can have nightmares just from having a really bad argument with, say, a coworker. Our dreams or nightmares allow us to digest, break down, and work through the things that happen in our waking life. Let's read these little snippets and then we'll go to our next slide. Nightmares are commonly seen as distressing dreams that present as a threat to the dreamer's safety, security, or physical integrity. This usually leads to a sudden or disruptive awakening. Common emotions associated with nightmares are fear, anxiety, or sadness. This usually occurs during REM sleep, and details are very, very vivid. So, usually, when someone has a nightmare, they can tell you every aspect of it, and it is just very, very vibrant and scary. It almost feels like, very commonly heard people saying, it felt real. It felt so real. Nightmares differ from other sleep disturbances such as night terrors or sleep paralysis SP. Nightmares may also increase anxiety and can lead to sleep deprivation and impaired concentration, memory, or emotional regulation. They may also heighten current mental health issues such as PTSD from unresolved emotions and trauma. Next, we're going to talk about rescripting. and how rescripting can help to combat against nightmares. So, to confront these nightmares, dreamers can utilize a number of tools such as a dream journal or dream rescripting. Dream rescripting allows the dreamer to take control of the nightmare and redefine the outcome of their dream. By using conscious awareness while thinking of the nightmare and utilizing self talk, the dreamer is empowered to bring forward that which is hidden in the subconscious mind and formulate positive outcomes for that which is presented in the nightmare. And I know some of you may be thinking, well, what does the subconscious mind have to do with any of this? Let's find out. So, but one may find, oh, am I at the top? Okay. So, with regards to nightmares, one may find that they're able to rise above and heal inner turmoil in the dream state by using rescripting and dream journaling. Because dreams incorporate both the body and the mind, dreaming enables a person to confront fears hidden by the subconscious mind. When people experience traumatic events, the brain can block the memory in a process called disassociation. This is the mind's way of protecting itself and maintaining homeostasis for the whole body system. So it's that your body is always going to try to keep you in a state that's going to keep you moving forward. So if that means locking away some bad memories, that's what it's going to do because it wants to keep you safe as well as keeping the whole body going as well. But that is also why dreaming is important because even if you're dealing with, day-to-day stressors, right, and nothing like severely traumatic, you need that space especially if you're not someone who shares very much with people things that are deeply personal to you or very hurtful to you. There needs to be some sort of solution to be able to process those things. And naturally, that is what we do when we dream. We go through the file of our day and we work it out with ourselves in our dream state. And this helps us to not only heal our body, but also prepare the mind to be able to deal with the things that are coming in the future. To confront these nightmares, dreamers can utilize a number of tools such as dream journaling or dream rescripting. As we have already discussed dream journaling, let's find out about dream rescripting. Dream rescripting allows the dreamer to take control of the nightmare and redefine the outcome of their dream. Daydreaming and self-talk are some aspects of dream rescripting and are and are some examples of how to take control of the nightmare and get them moving in a more positive direction. By redefining the nightmare in the dreamer's waking life, we again see that the use of something similar to the prospective memory that we previously discussed with mild during our lucid dreaming talk. Oh, excuse me. By using conscious awareness while thinking of the nightmare and utilizing self-talk, the dreamer is empowered to bring forward that which is hidden in the subconscious mind and formulate positive outcomes for that which is presented in the nightmare. Combining positive imagery and words assists the dreamer in combating the nightmare when it reoccurs. In time, the positive will replace the negative, making it easier for the mind to process traumatic events and stressors once thought to be impossible. So there actually is like a cycle that your mind completes when you're sleeping as it's going through your day. And tough events or traumatic events need to go through this cycle, right? This loop to have resolution within itself. With PTSD, on the other hand, the mind isn't able to complete that loop because the subconscious mind snatched it away. So it's locked away, and the effects of not resolving it or the effects of the traumatic event are still affecting the person, even though they may or may not be aware of why they suddenly feel this way, or why do I feel anxious when I'm around this person, or Why does that, I barely am ever around them. Like, why does this thing over here that I've only had one interaction with make me feel, so panicked? Because there are things that your mind can lock away to keep you safe and to keep you going. So don't be mad at your subconscious mind that wants you to succeed. By working with the disturbing imagery in waking life, one may experience a similar disassociation found with the mind hiding away painful memories, but do not feel discouraged. When this happens, the dreamer is encouraged to use grounding techniques such as meditation and other grounding tools like deep breathing or focusing on your immediate surroundings to help regulate your emotions. Next. So, what does it look like? This is an example of what steps you would take to go through dream rescripting. All right. So we're going to go through all of this, but let's go ahead and read through this, and then I'm going to talk more pointedly towards the wise mind, because I think that's something that can be incorporated not just with regards to nightmares, but it's also a really good way to help um, my dreamers regulate their emotions, which is really important for, staying grounded through really tough events in your life. And that enables you to do your very, very best because you stay in control and you can use your logic and your emotion to navigate the world or navigate the tough things that you have in front of you. So let's read through these first. Step 1. Practice relaxation, pleasant imagery, and coping skills first to be sure you are ready to work on changing your nightmares. Do progressive relaxation, paced breathing, and or wise mind exercises. Listen to music or guided imagery, or review the distress tolerance crisis survival skills. Number 2. Choose a recurring nightmare you would like to work on. This will be your target nightmare. Select a nightmare you can manage now. Put off trauma nightmares until you are ready to work with them. Or if you target a trauma dream, then skip to step 3. Number 3. Write down your target nightmare. Include sensory descriptions, sight, smell, sound, taste, etc. And all of these things you can pull from your dream journal so you can go back if you've been keeping a long log of what your current reoccurring nightmare is, and write all of those things down. Write down all the key elements in the reoccurring nightmare, or just a regular nightmare as well too. Also include any thoughts, feelings, and assumptions about yourself during the dream. Now, one key thing I do want to note when it comes to nightmares in that criteria that we talked about earlier to be diagnosed with PTSD, when you think about war veterans or when you think about people who have lived through just very traumatic natural events or whatever the case may be in life, right? Those reoccurring dreams can be the actual events that they keep dreaming about over and over and over. Sometimes it is not deeply symbolic. Sometimes it's just that dream happening again and again and again. So think about that when you're deciding on if you're going to utilize dream scripting. Think about that when you want to tackle a specific nightmare. If it's something that is a real life event that you keep dreaming about, or if it's something that is symbolic, because it works for both, but it's still important to understand the differences between the two. Also include any thoughts, feelings, and assumptions about yourself during the dream. 4. Choose a changed outcome for the nightmare. And this is where we start to bring in the change and the healing, right? The change should occur before anything traumatic or bad happens to you or others in the nightmare. So the changes that you're going to write towards happen before the scary stuff happens, okay? Essentially, you want to come up with a change that will prevent the bad outcome of the usual nightmare from occurring. Write an ending that will give you a sense of peace when you wake up. So, for example, note, Changes in the nightmare can be very unusual and out of the ordinary. So when you're doing this dream rescripting and these positive changes that you're writing towards start to have an effect on your dream state, you'll notice some very bizarre changes in that recurring dream and continue to note those as well because that is the deconstruction of the nightmare happening. So, for example, you might become a person with superhuman powers who's able to escape to safety or fight off attackers. Changed outcomes can include changed thoughts, feelings, or assumptions about yourself, which shows growth and healing. So it's important to note those things in your dream journal. I would, have something like this and print it off and have it right behind, or have a couple sheets in your dream journal, um, or if you save it to your phone or whatever, and just you know copy this and attach it on the date of the journal that you have the nightmare, so that way if you have normal dreams that you're recalling and writing towards as well too, you can look at for symbolism and notes in your normal dreams. Number 5, write down the full nightmare with the changes. 6, rehearse and relax each night before going to sleep. Rehearse the changed nightmare by visualizing the entire dream with the changes each night before practicing relaxation techniques. So you're going to do all of this journaling or rescripting before you do your bath, before you do your meditation, before you do maybe like a bike ride in the evening, before you watch something that's really calming for you. You're going to do all of that before you do your relaxation techniques, okay? And number 7, rehearse and relax during the day. Visualize the entire dream with the change and practice relaxation as often as possible during the day. And remember, we already talked about that self-talk, right? We talked about being able to utilize these same tools during the day. You're coaching yourself and you're visualizing something more positive. All right. Now let's talk about using your wise mind. This is a technique that I think, again, can generally work for anyone across the board when it comes to emotional regulation and just dealing with everyday stressors. And in turn, I think that will help to have a better dream state. So I don't think that this technique should only be used when it comes to dreaming. I think that you can just use this anytime you feel stressed out, and I think it also helps with self confidence. I believe it helps with self confidence as well too, because you're learning to trust yourself by doing this, because you're combining the logical and the emotional parts of yourself and fortifying and supporting yourself more. Sometimes, if we find ourselves to be too logical or too emotional, we can be very detached from things, and we don't want to do that. We want to be as aware and present as possible. So, let's read over this. Using your wise mind. After you have identified the problem using your mind, after you have identified the problem your mind started thinking about, practice wise mind decision making. Set your timer for 5 minutes. So, same thing with the journaling. Very short amount of time. Don't stress out so much about it if you don't make it the full 5 minutes, but go ahead and set the timer anyways. If you finish writing before the timer goes off, just allow yourself to lay back and try to de stress yourself. Do some deep breathing, play an instrument, or draw, if that's whatever your passion is that makes you feel calm, then do that, but give yourself that space for the 5 minutes. Write first, and then don't leave that space, because you can become re-inspired while you're doing something else. Be like, oh man, I forgot that, or oh, let me jot that down. So just have things with you, or bring things with you to wherever you're going to be writing, and stay in that spot for 5 minutes, until the timer is off. Okay. All right. Gather information. Start gathering relevant information about the situation. Seek out facts, data, and opinions from reliable sources. Consider the logical aspect and pros and cons and potential consequences of different options. So, thinking very simply, weighing the pros and cons of something based on logical information and data that you have. 5. Identify your emotions. Take some time to identify and acknowledge your emotions regarding the decision. Note any strong feelings, fears, or gut instincts that arise. Name and validate your emotions without judgment. And I think that part is just very, very important when we're working with the logical mind and the emotional mind, because the logical mind will want to, be the naysayer to how you feel. So it's important with your emotional self to not shame the feelings that you have, but to embrace them and try to understand them and to validate how you feel. No matter what the situation is, the validation is very important because you behave that way for a reason. So getting to the why of why there was a strong reaction to something is important, and it doesn't mean that you should feel badly about that. Next, reflect on your values, priorities, and long-term goals. Consider how the different options in this situation align with these aspects of your life. So now that we have all of those materials together, what are the things that are leading you in life? And you're going to compile the logic and you're going to compile the emotion and see how these things can fit together in a nice puzzle. Engage in mindfulness practices to cultivate present moment awareness. Stay open and curious, allowing yourself to fully experience and understand your internal state. Integrate rational and emotional factors, and then reflect upon the information that you've gathered and what your emotional state and awareness is. Integrate both factors into your decision-making process. So once you've got everything together, then you're going to make your choice. You're not just going to run on one or the other. You're going to take the time that you deserve to discover what you're trying to tell yourself internally. So ask yourself, what does logic suggest? What are my emotions telling me? How do these aspects align or conflict with one another? And then take some time to reflect. Avoid rushing back to your decision. So just like I was saying with the 5-minute space, give yourself that 5 minutes. If you only can get something down in, 2 or 3 minutes because something's really stressing you out, write what you can in that short amount of space and still stay there and sit and just allow yourself to decompress and ground while you can. And again, you may become re-inspired or something may come to you that you were not aware of, and then you can go ahead and annotate that as well with the rest of the information that you have written down. Next, if you're struggling with a decision, take a break and think about it. This will help you process the information and the insight that you've gathered. So you don't have to make any choices right away. You can wait, even if it's the next day, or as I say, maybe you want to sleep on it. Then you go back and make a decision with a fresh mind, right? Fresh mind, fresh heart. Remember, decision making is a process. Be open to changing your mind if new information comes up or if you realize that your first choice doesn't fit what you want. And that's okay. Like, even when you validate yourself, even when you're supporting yourself, it's okay to change your mind. You can have a realization that maybe this doesn't really align with me completely anymore, especially if you go back and you start looking at, your morals and your values and things like that. Or maybe the morals and values that you have may need to be adjusted too. So keep everything on the table. Don't shut yourself off from understanding any part of yourself, nor being closed to changing any part of yourself. Change is growth, and it is the only thing that we know to be continuing forward through everything. So we should embrace that. Now, what does dreaming look like across cultures? So, within African cultures, dreams may be used as guidance to make important life choices, such as marriage, traveling, or job employment, based on the ancestral messages that they receive. Within Chinese cultures, dreams help give guidance with regards to a person's health, and these dreams may influence lifestyle changes or the use of traditional Chinese medicine or TCM. In Native American or indigenous cultures, dreams incorporate spiritual practices and rituals. Remember, we were talking about this before. They incorporate spiritual practices and rituals to assist in dream guidance, which impact personal and community actions. So previously, we were talking about how um, in Southern Asian, various Southern Asian portion, various Asian countries. There we go. That um, there would be some sort of ritual as well to induce um, this lucid dreaming. That's what we were talking about it before. And then in Hindu culture, dreams may equate to omens, and understanding their meaning may affect daily rituals, a person's path in life, or their social roles. Now let's look at this a little bit deeper. So, dreams can carry unique meanings depending on cultural perspectives, and symbols that feel familiar to one group might take on an entirely different notion somewhere else. And we were talking about this in the beginning with a lion may mean one thing here, but it may mean something else over on this side. For instance, animals in Western culture often reflect our instincts, like a lion representing courage. But in Native American or indigenous traditions, animals are seen as spiritual guides, such as carrying lessons tied to nature. Death, often feared in Western dreams as an omen or major life change, holds a more celebratory tone in Mexican culture, where it can symbolize connections with loved ones during Dia de los Muertos. Similarly, falling dreams are commonly linked to insecurity, but in Japanese cultures, they may reflect social embarrassment or losing face. Water varies too, symbolizing emotions in Western thought. Water varies too, symbolizing emotion in Western thought while representing sacred transition in Hinduism. Even religion shapes dream interpretation. In Islam, dreams are categorized as divine, personal, or disruptive, while indigenous cultures often see dreaming as a bridge to ancestors and spiritual dreams, like the dream time in Aboriginal tradition. Our personal lives also influence how we view dreams. Societal factors like gender roles or economic status affect themes, and as the cultures blend in modern times, traditional beliefs merge with psychological insight, creating a rich tapestry of dream meaning influenced by both heritage and media. Understanding these layers reminds us how interconnected and unique our dreaming minds truly are. That part makes me so happy. Ultimately, it is the dreamer who truly knows in the end what their dreams or nightmares may foretell. So, in the end, you have the power to um, really direct your dreams with purpose and intention, and you can really deeply discover more about who you are as a person, or even as we were reading about your culture around you. Hi, Sky Sky. Hi, baby. Hello, hello. That's me spiritual since I was born, but my spiritual is different. That's okay. You your spirituality is your personal like walk with whatever it is that you believe in or whoever it is that you believe in. And that's not um up to anybody else to have any judgment at all. Just like we're, talking towards the end, like the dreamer is the one that's in control of what is going on in the dreaming world. And you can have all of the symbolism in the world, but until you really deeply understand what your dream is saying to you by recognizing familiar patterns, having that healthy dream schedule, being able to use your journal and look back and connect those dots, you can just continue to follow the common themes, and it'll still be helpful. But really, really deeply understanding yourself and really, really deeply understanding your dreams and what they mean to you as an individual, that's empowering for you. So same thing with our spirituality, like that is what you feel deeply connected to, and that is what gives you encouragement and what pushes you forward. And because we, as we saw, dreams are deeply connected with spiritualities across many cultures, not just one. Many people see dreams as being, something spiritual or divine, and historically it was seen that way mostly. So I think that that's really beautiful that your dreams are very spiritual, especially the dream that you described last stream. I think that that's, such a beautiful way to connect with your family. I'm off to bed. I'm going to text you in the morning. I don't want to ruin the vibe or anything like that. Thanks, goodbye. You're fine, baby. Have a sweet dream. And try to rest well, okay? And take some of those tips about getting things off. There's some books down there for you to listen to if you want to. And some nice, cozy background. But I do wish you sweet dreams, dear. So that is our presentation. Thank you all for sitting with me. I appreciate my dreamers so much, just being here and allowing me to share the things that are important to me as your dream siren, so that I can help you to not just obtain your dreams, but really, um, I think a lot of subtle things happen in our dream state, even if it's not a nightmare, that pop up in our dreams, and it can be off-putting, right? So, so knowing how to confront those things and heal something within, or figure out something that's going on in your real life, if any of those things happen, I'm very happy to, help to shine a light on, how you can take control for yourself. And I would love to empower the people who are here with me so that they can do anything, that they don't have, this, chokehold fear. Fear itself is normal, so don't feel bad if you are fearful, but you don't want it to hold you back from reaching your goals or reaching your dreams. And that's my job. I have to, as a dream siren, or else what would I be doing here? So yes, but that's all that we have for tonight. That's the end. That is it. We did it. And again, I apologize for being very late and missing our earlier stream. I was at the hospital again with my kitten, and still trying to grieve um, the loss of the two doggos um, over the last couple weeks. So thank you for being patient with me, and thank you for still showing up and being here. It really means a lot to me. And I hope, and that's my kitty in the background right now having an asthma situation. Um, do you want to know what's my spirit is? If you would like to share, I would love to understand that. I think we were looking over, yes, when we were looking over different indigenous cultures, um, that they have different ways that their spirit is represented in their dreams. But what do you mean more specifically? And if anyone wanted, um, like any of the information, or I can post, like the dream journal. I think I will, at least for the dream journal. I'll post the out not outline. I'll post a copy of the dream journal outline in our community tab, so that you can utilize that and start your dream journaling. But even if I don't get to it this evening, please be encouraged. Even if you just have a single piece of paper and a pen by your bed, you can start tonight and just put it by your bed. Sorry, my baby's having a little. My kitten has asthma. I fear. But it at least it allows you to be able to start now, and that's the most important thing, is writing down the little details. Let me take a moment to check in on her. I will be right back, and then I will look at Look at your meaning. So she's still not feeling too well. So let's see. Well, let's see if there's any. Let me catch up on your comments, Elite, and then other than that, we'll go ahead and finish for the evening. I'm going to. I don't know about Wednesday. I do want us to. I'm so excited to continue to read where we're at. But I need some more grieving time, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, because it's good to take care of yourself, and that's okay. But we will definitely stream Friday. So we might try to do a wombo combo of half reading. We'll start off reading, and then we'll do maybe we'll do mahjong and just have more time to chat and just have a more casual Friday versus getting back into Minds Beneath Us, because I really want to be able to. I don't know how close we are to the end, but we're getting to a good part of the game, and I'm deeply intrigued when we're gonna propose to her fiance in the game. All right. Listen, our translations are going off stream. Oh no, they're okay. All right. Oh, okay. You know what being born spiritual is. I guess you don't want to know. That's not that at all. I just needed to. I guess I thought you guys could hear that. She was very, very loud, so I got really concerned. My cat may have asthma, and she was having a really bad coughing fit. So I needed to take a moment to address her and get her some water, and so she's a little bit more comfortable. So that's why we took a break, because she was having an attack. And I don't have her little inhaler yet. I didn't even know that they created inhalers for cats. So right now we're just trying to do our very best, and I want to make her as comfortable as possible. But do you know what born spiritually is? No. And it's the good night I tried to help to Sky, or is that to me? Unless you actually went to bed, in which case I'm sorry. I didn't know if, or I didn't realize that I wasn't coming through clearly about why I was taking a break. But yes. So, well, I guess if that's the case, then thank you all again for being here with me and joining your Dream Siren, so that we can have our cozy discussion about dreams. And I hope that that information will come in handy to anyone who's either trying to induce lucid dreams, or if you're trying to combat your nightmares, or if you just want to have nice cozy dreams. All of these are things that you can utilize, or you can just pick up the ones that are easiest to incorporate. That's usually a better way to start forming healthy habits, is to just take the parts that are easiest to incorporate, but also don't give yourself the excuse like, I don't have a specific dream journal yet, so I can't do this just now. You can do all of those things. So please don't feel discouraged. And if you feel unfamiliar or if you have more questions, please join us back here in Somnium, and I'll be happy to assist you and guide you. And of course, I'll be watching over all of my dreamers in the dream realm, making sure that you get to your dreams and that your dreams are protected and safe, and we can combat your nightmares together. So do your very best for me this week. Keep your head high, eat well, sleep well, incorporate some of those new healthy sleep habits. And I will see everyone on Friday, if not Wednesday, and we'll have ourselves a little bit of fun. But for now, I bid you adieu, sweet dreams, my dears, and be kind to each other. And I think you're all very, very awesome, and I'm so happy to have you here with me. So, good night. Good night kiss on your sweet little foreheads.